Hello, everyone. This is Mandana, and we have Feriha with us. We are so happy and glad to have you here. Thank you so much for taking this time out.
Hi, Mandana. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, it's a
I'm
pleasure.
so excited.
So today we are talking about sound healing, and we're talking about what does that mean and how do we understand sound healing. Feriha, please, can you explain to me something about yourself? Tell me, how did you get into healing, and especially sound healing?
Um, so I've I am a Fulbright scholar, right? I've been somebody that's been a chronic overachiever. Before that, before I did my master's, I was working for multiple nonprofits. And then the last 5 years, I was working for a very high stress corporate job.
Wow.
And over the years, like especially, I feel like especially during the 5 years that I spent at my corporate job, I really, really was noticing the effects that like high pressure, high stress, and very noisy space was having on me, not just in terms of obviously because if it's a noisy space, it gives you headaches, right? But even
Mm,
in terms of me constantly falling sick because I would fall sick every few months. And like I noticed how noise, which itself, by the way, is sound, right? So
mm,
that's why slowly I figured out that the reason why it was happening was because my body was reacting
mm,
to the noise in the room and like the stress and pressure aside. Because obviously most work environments tend to be stressful. So it wasn't that, right? Because I worked at multiple places. For me specifically, I feel like a lot of it had to do with how noisy that space was,
mm,
right? And this is like, and I noticed my heartbeat would like shoot up and down. I had like constant headaches, and I was just generally constantly falling sick. And I remember this is about 2.5 years ago. I was talking to one of my friends, and she told me how she'd attended a sound bath. So she doesn't live here, right? So she told me that's the first time that I heard about them. And she told
mm,
me about how much they had helped her. And then I visited her and we attended one together. But before that happened, I'd actually very randomly discovered sound baths on through Twitter as well.
oh, wow. So it
So
was coming
once
to you, the
I,
message was coming to you again and again about
it
the,
was just coming to me.
yeah.
Exactly. It was just coming to me. And over the last 2.5 years, because my health was suffering, right? And like I just started attending sound baths by this one particular practitioner. I would attend her sound baths like at least 3 to 4 times a week. And sometimes I would like replay that again and again and again in one day because it would just help me calm down.
Mm,
And over time, I noticed that, like, things were getting better. The way that I communicated was getting better. I was a bit more calmer. And like, these were just things that I noticed
increased.
over time,
Yeah, yeah.
not in the moment, because when you're attending a
In
sound
that
bath,
moment, you don't realize that this is happening,
yeah, yeah,
and when you are in that stress state, I think you are not really aware कि what is it, what is the impact of it on your body, what is
exactly. And
happening,
I,
because you are
exactly.
experiencing it, and you now you in a retrospect look at it and you can say, okay, it was the noise that was bothering you. Am I right? Yeah, yeah.
Yes, it was the noise, like all the noise, including people talking and the phone lines and everything. But that was where once I started attending sound baths, because the way sound works, like a sound bath works, is you're letting yourself receive.
Hmm.
And a sound bath is essentially a full body experience, right? So, yes, you're lying down and we're doing some gentle meditation and gentle breath work before it starts. But once I start playing the sound, it's basically you're allowing your whole body to be immersed in sound and you're just letting yourself receive the sound,
Yeah.
right? And how sound works is that so we hear sound through our ears. I mean, obviously everybody knows aap kanon se, like you're listening, right? But we also feel it, right? So
Hmm.
I don't know if any of you have experience like goosebumps or like
Yes, yes.
tingles when you hear something like music or just any like even when for me it's even when people are talking, right? I feel it. So you're also hearing it through your body,
Hmm.
and then the sound once it enters your body, it's basically traveling through your skin, all of your organs, all of your tissues, and all of your cells. So if we're playing harmonious sounds, which is what a sound bath is, because the sounds that we play are very like the ones specifically that I play, they're very gentle and very melodic. And like, so what they end up doing is they harmonize every single structure inside your body because all our cells have a specific frequency. So these sounds are basically moving through your body. So it's like the feeling that you get is kind of like a deep tissue massage as well. So while you're lying there, you're receiving the healing, the blockages are being unblocked.
So you're saying
And
that sound is impacting your physical body and it's changing things inner your body. So basically, it is a process
yes,
of what we say that sound healing is happening, and you are actually recovering a lot of things that you are not even aware of. So when you
yes.
say that
And the good
effects of the body, what kind of like what are we talking about specifically? We would like to know, okay, how does the body, or on a spiritual level or a physical level, how does the sound affect your body?
So, like I said, like the sound just goes in, it moves through all your cells and all your chakras, and it like harmonizes and clears any blockages. It's just moving through your whole body, right? And you're not really having to get into a story because I feel like if we're talking about healing, right? A lot of the conventional modalities they talk about, like in case you go to a talk therapist, that's not to say that doesn't work. You have to like relive your story, right?
Yeah, really.
And the thing is, sometimes having to like when you're telling the story, you're reliving it, right? And so for me, that's always been like something that because I'm very sensitive, I pick up on energies, right?
Mm,
So for me, something that was as gentle as sound is the one that helped me the most because you don't have to get into the story, and then there are a lot of things that the body remembers or like the soul
mm,
remembers
mm,
that your mind may have forgotten as a way to like protect you,
mm.
right?
Blocked, you've
So
blocked it basically. Yeah.
yeah, so those things also just very gently by the sound just moving through your body, that also gets released. So that's like the physical and like what's happening on the spiritual level, right? Other than that, like because these sound waves are specific frequencies, they also help you calm the mind. And what they do is because for the most part in our daily life, we're operating at a frequency where we need our brain to be very, very active.
Mm,
So what these frequencies also do is they entrain your mind to drop into the meditative states, the ones that the deep rest
yeah, I
brainwave
see.
states,
Yeah.
which are the ones that we normally experience when we're in deep sleep. And
Mm.
that specific brain, when we're in that brainwave state, that also promotes healing throughout the body. So it's because your body, yes, you're lying there for about an hour, but you're fully experiencing all the benefits of being in deep sleep, which is when your body repairs and recovers.
Very nice. I think so. One more thing, like are there different types of bowls? What instruments are you using, or what kind of common instruments are used in breathing?
Yes. So, specifically when it comes to sound healing, there are specific instruments that people use. The Tibetan singing bowls are very common. Those are the metal bowls. Then people use tuning forks and they use the gong. Like the gong is a very powerful instrument because it
Mhm.
releases a lot, but it's also so gongs people use. Then you've got the tiny shakers and rain sticks. So there are a lot of different instruments that people use. The ones that I specifically use are by this company Crystal Tones. So these are the Alchemy Crystal singing bowls. So all of the bowls that I use, they're infused with specific gemstones
Wow.
as well as metals, and so they're like an alchemy. So not only are you getting the benefits of the sound and the frequencies, you're also getting the benefits of whatever gemstone or whatever metal is in these bowls. And the way they're made, their tones are just very gentle. It's like you're
Mm.
floating and you
Yeah.
have like this like choir of like, they're like these angels just like singing around you.
Yeah.
That's how I feel whenever
Sounds
I'm listening to
beautiful.
my
Super
bowls. So
excited. Super excited. So, tell me, do you have them here? We can see the bowls, and maybe you can tell us more about the bowls. What frequencies are we talking about? What vibrations are we talking about?
yes, of course, they're right next to me.
Yeah.
So this little one,
Oh, look at
so
that. It's so beautiful.
yeah, so this is an F sharp, and the alchemy that it has is the zeal point aura gold. The zeal point is one of our chakras. Um, that's located at the base of the head, here where the skull and neck meets. And so when I'm playing this, it's healing that particular chakra. And then because it's tuned to F sharp is your divine, your high heart, and unconditional love. It makes you feel like, it also ends
Wow.
up making you feel like you're not separate, like you're a part of everything. So when I'm playing this, it's like giving you all of these benefits. What, like, because it has the crystal, it has the metal as well as the tuning.
Beautiful.
And then um,
So, are you
there
also
is,
getting that experience for yourself when you're
yes,
playing it?
I
Yeah,
am.
yeah.
Yes, I am. It's very, because yes, I'm playing for people, but then I'm also receiving in that
Receiving it.
moment,
Yeah, of
right?
course.
Yeah, because
That's
yes, I
also so
practice.
beautiful.
Yeah, it's like, it's an,
Exchange.
I feel like in my case, I feel like it's an equal give and take,
Yeah.
because when I'm in a space with people, I feel like it's more of a co-creation rather than just me as a
Mm.
practitioner saying like, oh, I'm doing this for you. I think whoever shows up for a sound bath, they also end up adding a lot to that
Yes.
specific sound bath, right? I mean, as a practitioner, I show up and I make sure I'm very grounded. Don't let my thoughts wander. I have a very specific intention when I walk in, and I make sure that throughout the session, like my intention remains the same, and I'm not letting anything like enter my head, because that obviously comes with
Yeah.
practice, right? So I have a specific intention, but then everyone that's in that space, whatever intention that they enter a session with, that ends up being a co-creation of that session, which is also why every session is very unique.
Yes.
So
Beautiful.
you'll have a very different experience
Mm.
if
Mm.
you attend a sound bath on one day or as compared to when you attend a sound bath the other day, because you as a person are also in a different space.
Yep. So what's
So
the, oh, that's so beautiful. It
so
is so
this
metallic.
yeah, it's like this is tuned to the E note,
Hmm.
and it has the crystal kyanite in it as well as platinum. So the E is linked to the solar plexus. So
Hmm.
it works with your mind, the solar plexus, as well as your internal organs. And then kyanite specifically helps with communication.
Hmm.
And it also opens your intuitive and emotional body. So, and it has platinum in it, right? So platinum is very gentle. It's linked to like the divine feminine. So it's all about harmonizing,
Hmm.
and like clearing out negativity and like negative energies. So then
Beautiful.
this particular bowl will like work on all of that. And I think these, and it was like, I mean, look, the bowls are
Yeah,
so
it's
pretty.
artist.
Yeah. So two of my bowls actually have platinum in them. It's like I feel like that also
Hmm.
helps a lot, because I think a lot of us, because we're constantly on the go and we're just constantly thinking about the next thing that we need to
Yes.
do. So our mind is always very active and we're not letting ourselves
As
go
far as the
sleepy.
mind, we are talking about the nervous system.
Yeah.
How does the sound healing impact your brain and your? So you have explained a lot in that context, but do you think a specific like a disease or some things does it have that impact? Any certain?
So, research has shown that certain frequencies can help manage things like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. But this is research that has been taking place over the last few years. There are a lot of different institutes at this point that are doing research.
Lovely.
And honestly, sound is used in
Yeah.
the current medical field, right? Like, people, doctors, they use ultrasound and other different kinds of sound that in the medical fields to diagnose and also to like treat things. But sound itself has not fully started being used as a medium specifically in medicine. But there's a lot of research that's happening. There's
Mm.
this practitioner, I mean, she's actually a trained doctor and who also used to do a lot of meditation before, prior to being a doctor. So she's actually has set up an institute in India, and where they're doing all this research, and um, so she makes her practice very holistic, where there's science as well as this like the whole spiritual aspect in terms of
Beautiful.
incorporating ancient practices. Sorry, I just have one more bowl. Do you mind like
Yeah, please,
showing?
please. Oh, look at that.
So this is the A note, and this has the Super 7 crystal, which is a combination of seven different crystals, as well as
Wow.
platinum. This also has platinum in it. So this, however, like it balances and energizes all of the chakras in the body, and also and just aligns them to be in like the highest frequency. And then it also has platinum, so it helps you again receive. So this is actually like because it has the super 7, it's like a very heavy duty bowl. It like just
Mm.
playing this can help you
Mm.
so much.
Wow. So I'm very, so talking about all of this, I think, can you also share us with some experience that you've had in your session or with your clients, or how do you think it has impacted them?
So I had somebody come in like a few weeks ago who told me that she had like a specific pain in her body, and she felt like after that session the pain got better. And they've also told me that they felt like some things were releasing. They could just feel things
Mm.
releasing in the
Mm.
body, right? And what's been very interesting for me, I mean, I obviously experienced that with these bowls when I would be attending sessions myself, because sometimes I would like see colors or like see images when I was just like lying down and like listening to the session. But I've had somebody come in very recently who attended sessions before using like the Tibetan bowls. And then she attended this session and she's like, it felt like it was a much more colorful experience in terms of what I was seeing. And also a much more like gentle, like she could feel like gentle movement in the body, like
Wow.
not like a very heavy duty muscular experience. So I've like people have shared some very interesting stories with me, and every single time they do, it just like I'm like,
Makes
oh
you
my
so
God.
happy. Yeah, yeah, I know.
It does. And with
Yes.
as also as somebody who was very who was working for years and years and years in our education system, it's all about like, you perform and then you do something great, and then you have to do the same thing over and
Yeah,
over and over
yeah,
again. Like अगर
of
कोई आपकी
course.
तारीफ कर रहा होता है,
Mm.
it's normally like, oh, you're so good at this, now we're going to give you this other thing to do because we know कि आप काम कर लोगे, right? So the तारीफ is also always like, there are very few people who do like genuine तारीफ. A lot of times it's like, अच्छा ये हुआ है तो अब तुम ये भी काम करो. So it's like
Mm.
they want something out of you, specifically in like the corporate world and the non-profit world. तारीफ means और काम करें आप. So here, whenever somebody gives me like good feedback, I'm like, I know that it's like, well, good feedback in terms of, oh, we noticed this particular thing happening,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Yeah.
It's like I know कि वो दिल से बात आ रही है. So
Mm,
there's a difference between like a compliment that's being given to you from the heart as
mm.
compared to
Yes,
something that's
of
being
course.
given from the brain.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's always very special to me.
It's beautiful. Thank you, Faria. This was
Yeah,
amazing.
it's gonna be
And
very it's gonna be very, very magical. And honestly, I can tell you guys, this is like a one of a kind
yeah,
experience.
thank you.
Yes. See
Thank you.
you.